Welcome to the fourth edition of the Paris Peace Forum. Bienvenue à la quatrième édition du Forum de Paris sur la paix. Welcome to the thousands of people following us on the platform and also streamed live. And welcome to the few dozens who are joining us here at La Grande Halle de la Villette. As you know, last year we had an entirely digital event. This year we have a hybrid event with a small presence on the ground, which you can see behind us, and a large presence online. But still, we're happy to have attendees back in on site for this edition. Hello, Trisha.
Hello, and to those of you joining us virtually, welcome. We really wish you could be here with us. Mais t'inquiète pas, as they say in French. We have ensured that the platform transports you as if you were here at the forum. The various features that you can have access to if you're using our platform is one, you can explore each panel and look at the agenda of the debates. You can watch them live, and if you miss them, you can also watch the replay. You can also share your questions with us whilst the panel is going on that we can then propose to the speakers during each session. You can also organize your own sessions, which we call thematic lounges, where you can invite up to 20 people and have discussions centered around specifically your area of interest. And finally, you can connect with the other participants. You can call them on a video call, and you can truly get a feel of what this year's forum is going to be about.
And what this year's forum is going to be about is Mind the Gaps. This is the theme that we've chosen this year. Last year, those of you who followed the forum, who participated in the forum last year might remember we had bouncing back to a better planet as a theme, as a topic for the year, which was close to Build Back Better, right? We were full of optimism, but of course the Delta variant came and we did not exit the COVID world. And so this year, in order to build back better and in order to get out of the COVID-19 crisis, we decided to focus on addressing the gaps that threaten and that block global reconstruction. The action gap on health and economic recovery, the ambition gap for the global commons, like COP26 happening right now in Glasgow, the north-south gap, which has widened enormously because of the pandemic, and also the inclusion gap, by which we understand both the gender gap, which we will address, and more generally the gap between public opinions and the elites.
Yes, and within the forum, we will also have a high-level summit in parallel, which will gather the heads of states. As Justin likes to keep reminding us all, we are not another talk shop. So all the heads of states that will gather here have been briefed that they must be action-oriented and must come here with concrete commitments. So today, we have the opening ceremony where we'll be graced by the US Vice President, Madame Kamala Harris. We will also have President Muhammadu Buhari of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We will also be joined by Sheikh Hasina, the Prime Minister of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, and of course, the French President, Emmanuel Macron. Here we talk about the high-level dignitaries that we have, but let's not also forget that the main ethos of Paris Peace Forum is centered around our projects, whom we always call the true stars of the forum. So we will have projects. This year we have 80 projects that will be showcased. Many of them are joining us in person. A lot of them will be joining us digitally. And we encourage you to discover all the 80 projects and interact with them and see how you can support them in the work that they're doing.
In addition to the projects, as you know, the forum is very focused on having impact and launching what we call the initiatives. Many of you may remember, as early as 2018, we launched the Paris Call for Trust and Security in Cyberspace, which is that initiative on cybersecurity, which has now been joined by more than 1,200 parties, whether 80 governments, the 700 private companies, the 300 civil society groups and local governments. And I hear, and that's also, I must say, that's already in the news, that we might have other parties rejoining, including really important one, that will be announced during the opening ceremony. But we also have initiatives that we're preparing on space, especially the preservation of the space environment, space orbit. That will be for tomorrow. On climate, obviously on AI, you may remember last year we launched the Digital Bill of Rights, and on other topics. So these sort of high-level initiatives are also part and parcel of the forum. I should add that for those of you who were here in 2018 and 2019, we still have the Space for Innovation that is on top of the debates, on top of the projects and initiatives. We're running a 2-day foresight workshop, which is run by the Körber Stiftung, our funding member, which is an exercise to try to co-design future worlds where AI may play a role. So they will gather for 3 sessions between now and Saturday, and the results will be presented on Saturday, 13 November at 2:15 p.m. Be sure to tune in. Now to open the 4th edition of the Paris Peace Forum, we have a special message from the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres.
Excellences, chers amis, rarement les fractures qui menacent notre monde n'auront été aussi grandes, à commencer par le fossé qui nous sépare de la paix. Les coups d'État se multiplient, les droits humains sont mis à mal, les plus vulnérables sont pris pour cible, et les clivages géopolitiques sapent la coopération internationale. Nous avons besoin de dialogue. Nous devons investir dans la prévention des conflits et le maintien et la consolidation de la paix. Dans le même temps, la crise climatique menace notre existence même. Il reste quelques heures à la COP26 de Glasgow pour garder l'objectif des 1,5 degrés à notre portée. Il faut bien plus d'ambition dans l'atténuation, le financement, mais aussi l'adaptation, afin de venir en aide aux communautés dont la vie est déjà bouleversée. Il faut rétablir la confiance entre le Nord et le Sud. Et il faut que les pays développés tiennent leurs promesses. Si nous ne voulons pas voir les objectifs de Paris partir en fumée, nous devons agir immédiatement. Nous devons également réduire la fracture entre riches et pauvres. Le Covid-19 a exacerbé inégalités déjà flagrantes. Et près d'un an après la mise au point de vaccins, des milliards de personnes attendent toujours leur première dose. C'est une faute morale. Nous avons besoin d'un plan de vaccination mondial permettant d'acheminer des vaccins à 70% de la population de chaque pays au premier semestre 2022. Nous avons besoin d'investir dans une reprise durable, résiliente et juste, qui inclut tout le monde. Il est donc urgent de réduire les fractures entre les genres et entre les générations. Les sociétés plus égalitaires sont aussi plus prospères. Les lieux de décision doivent faire toute leur place aux femmes. Il en va de même pour les jeunes. Notre génération ne peut exclure ceux qui devront vivre avec les conséquences de nos décisions, bonnes et mauvaises. Nous avons besoin de leur talent. Enfin, nous devons réduire la fracture numérique. La moitié de l'humanité n'a pas accès à l'Internet. Faisons en sorte que tout le monde soit connecté d'ici à 2030. Pendant ce temps, la désinformation polarise et paralyse les sociétés. La moindre donnée personnelle est exploitée pour manipuler notre comportement. Et des armes autonomes, qui devraient être interdites, tuent sans intervention humaine. Il est urgent de bâtir des cadres réglementaires qui placent les droits humains au cœur de l'avenir numérique. Chers amis, ces fractures s'alimentent mutuellement. Et chacun État ne pourra le résorber seul. La solidarité est notre unique chance. C'est le sens de mon rapport sur notre programme commun. 90 recommandations pour rétablir la confiance, relever les défis d'aujourd'hui et renforcer le multilatéralisme de demain. Et ensemble, sauver l'humanité et la planète. Je vous remercie.
Thank you, Secretary General Guterres. We have had the distinct honor of having him participate in every edition of the forum. And thank you, as always, for making a strong case for true inclusion and for centering all the work that we do around gender rights. And with that, I just want to also highlight that the first session that will be happening this year is called Mind the Gaps, keeping in spirit the overall arcing theme of the forum, where we will be talking about improving global governance in the times of COVID and beyond, which will take place on stage A at 1:45 p.m. Central European Time. But there are also so many other sessions happening, so I highly encourage you to explore the platform and see what's happening. You can see the full schedule, and also please join in the conversation on Twitter using the hashtag Paris Peace Forum 2021. You can feel free to tag us as well. But beyond that, I want to ask you just now, what are you looking forward to the most 4 years in?
I guess after 3 years of having a strong American presence through the NGOs, through the citizens, through companies, through the philanthropic foundations that have been supporting the forum, but without the presence of the US government, I must admit that I'm pretty excited to see Vice President Kamala Harris sort of embody that reconciliation, I would say, with multilateralism and with multi-actor action. It's important to us because they were missing at the table, and we're really happy to welcome them in the greater Paris Peace Forum family.
Should we be expecting a very interesting update from the Vice President?
I think she will have a couple of announcements to make. So once again, that will be the official ceremony starting at 5 p.m. Paris time here on the platform. It will also be broadcast live. What are you expecting? What are you looking forward to for this edition?
I am looking forward to seeing the discussions that we will be having around vaccine parity. As I come from the global south, it is a matter that is deeply personal. You know, so many of us have lost so many people during this pandemic, and a lot of us are still living with that trauma. So I'm really enthusiastic and hopeful, which is rare things to feel during these times, to see what comes out of the push for vaccine parity in the global south. I also just want to ask you real quick, you started this mad idea of this forum 4 years ago, and everyone told you it's too ambitious, there are so many talk shops already happening. 4 years in, the concept has been proven, people get it, everyone shows up. Did you see that this is the role Paris Peace Forum would play in the global scale of good governance? And where exactly do you think Paris Peace Forum is positioned as of now? Why should someone come here and not another forum, you know?
I guess the answer is that they wouldn't find in other places what we have to offer. And what we have to offer is first the other people that are coming. That is to say, we have a unique crowd of, I would say, bottom-up and top-down, a unique crowd of NGOs, activists, universities, experts, associations, as we say in French, foundations as well, and from the top down, all the heads of state, the international organizations, and many others. And that's the first thing, and the fact that they're coming is testimony that the forum has brought something. And I guess the other place where we wanted to be, and I think we've largely gotten to that point, is being able to produce initiatives that actually impact global governance, that actually make this world a slightly better governed place, a slightly better place.
Well, they are behind us, our incredible project leaders, whom we encourage you again to go and look up and look at the work that they're doing. I'll give you the last word just now of the spirit that you want people to have when they witness the opening ceremony and the first day of the forum.
Absolutely. I guess it's a message for action. That is to say, I guess people can really make a difference by looking at these issues that we're tackling at the forum. Basically, the issues we're tackling here are the ones that are cross borders, that are not susceptible of being solved by just one government. You know, climate change, outer space, digital, etc. And these things, they seem a bit far remote, let's say, from the ordinary citizen. And what we're doing at the forum is do politics differently. That is to say, I think we give some agency back to the people. And this, I should say, is also largely thanks to a large group of people supporting us. First of all, the partners that I want to thank very officially. They are development banks, they are foundations, they are companies and others, and without them there would be no forum. But also the staff that has been putting all of this together, the staff at the Secretariat, the staff at Auditoire, and I want to thank them as we are opening this fourth edition of the forum.
And with that, welcome to the first day of Paris Peace Forum.
And now we'll start the first few sessions. Enjoy this edition and see you later.